How to offset your carbon credit emissions? Environment needs our help. There are many ways to do that, but there is also a Web3 option. In this video, you will learn what are the carbon credits, how do they work, and what are the issues associated with them. Also, how is Web3 improving carbon credit system? And the top 6 Web3 apps that enable users to help the environment. Carbon credits are essentially the permits that represent the right to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases. One credit typically equals 1 ton of carbon dioxide, or in some markets, an equivalent amount of another greenhouse gas. Why are they important? They help in controlling the amount of greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere. By setting a cap on emissions and allowing trading, it incentivizes companies to reduce their emissions. If a company reduces its emissions, it can sell its excess credits to another company that is over its limits. This creates a financial reward for being more environmentally friendly. Many carbon credits are generated through funding projects that reduce emissions, like reforestation or renewable energy projects. This means buying carbon credits can directly support environmental initiatives, and that is what I am going to show you later in this video. In simple terms, carbon credits are like a regulatory tool that helps to put a limit on global pollution while encouraging and funding efforts to reduce this pollution. What does blockchain have to do with it? Blockchain's immutable nature ensures that once a carbon credit is recorded, it cannot be changed or deleted. This transparency can help build trust among participants, ensuring that credits are not double counted for or fraudulently claimed, which has been the ground for many scandals previously. Blockchain can record detailed information about each carbon credit, such as its origin, its methodology used to calculate the emission reductions, and its entire transaction history. Tokenization can make it easier to trade carbon credits in smaller denominations, allowing for fractional ownership. This can increase liquidity in carbon markets and make it more accessible for smaller participants, like individuals who simply want to help the environment. It is also breaking down geographical barriers and increasing market access. Have you heard of carbon credits before? But before we get into the world of Web3 in environment with hands-on, let's look at the legacy we have in more details, specifically at the international frameworks. REDD+, or Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Forest Degradation, is a climate change mitigation solution developed under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It aims to protect forests, which are crucial for absorbing carbon dioxide and can be significant sources of greenhouse gas emissions when destroyed or damaged. The REDD+ goes beyond just addressing deforestation and forest degradation. It also includes the conservation, sustainable management of forests, and enhancement of forest carbon stocks. Another legacy is Vera. Vera is an organization that operates standards in environmental and social markets, including the so-called Verified Carbon Standard, or VCS program, which is a leading standard for certifying carbon credits. Vera's role is to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve livelihoods, and protect natural resources by working with both the private and public sectors to assess environmental and social impacts, and to enable funding for projects that deliver these benefits. Studies have suggested that some of Vera's accredited forest protection projects were using inconsistent methods and overstating their emission reductions. For instance, a study conducted by Tails West and others in 2020, focusing on 12 projects offering carbon credits for avoiding deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon, found that these schemes had been too simplistic in their baselines, failing to account for the impact of government policies which reduced deforestation. There is a number of projects that are offering tokenized carbon credit offsetting, but I have excluded the ones that are in beta version. The first app that I want to talk about is the Moss Carbon Credit. Moss Carbon Credit aims to combat climate change by facilitating the purchase, sale, and retirement of carbon credits. Moss simplifies the process by tokenizing these carbon credits. Each token represents a specific amount of carbon, usually 1 ton, that has been offset. These tokens can be bought and sold, making it easier for businesses and individuals to engage in carbon offsetting. The MCO2 token, developed by Moss, is designed to foster the preservation of environment through market solution, specifically targeting the carbon credit market. So each MCO2 token represents one forestry, REDD+, carbon credit, effectively a digital certificate. These certificates allow companies or individuals to offset their carbon emissions and reduce their environmental impact. Moss has also introduced a governance token, allowing holders to participate in decisions regarding MCO2 token and new protocols. This approach aims to minimize unilateral decisions by Moss management and promote a more collaborative and inclusive governance process. The key decisions include carbon credit acquisition, auditing, strategic partnerships, and support for bridges and DAOs. Moss Carbon Credit operates on the Ethereum blockchain, and I would highly recommend it for those who care about the Amazon forests first. This is the official website of Moss project. So mc2token.moss.earth. It is explaining what is a carbon credit token, so what does it represent, a Moss token. The design is rather green. It is also explaining how it is related to the Vera registry that I mentioned before, and also how blockchain is enhancing security and transparency. It has immediate link to Etherscan, that is basically a place where you could see the transactions associated with the token project. All the transactions, you can see there is more than 44,000 by the time when I'm recording this. So quite a popular one, I would say. And also you see which exchanges are accepting the token. So from which exchanges is it possible to buy them. Also the impact as well. So $30 million invested into the Amazon forestry projects. Also, there is possibility to ask some information more, read information in the press, and of course, some further instructions. So where to buy? We are referred back to the top exchanges. Most of these exchanges are somehow related to Spain or Spanish-speaking countries, but that is of course not stopping people from other countries or other geographical locations to get the tokens. Because of course the advantage is that most of them are global, so available to people all over the world. There is more than a couple of options. It looks like most of them are working also with my private connection in Switzerland. So that's it. The next one is KlimaDAO. And KlimaDAO operates as a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO, focused on driving climate action through blockchain technology. Its primary mechanism involves the tokenization of carbon credits, aimed at creating a market-driven solution to reduce carbon emissions. The platform acquires carbon credits and tokenizes them into digital assets. These tokenized credits are used to back its native cryptocurrency, Klima tokens. Each Klima token is backed by a real-world verified carbon offset, essentially representing a certain amount of carbon emissions that have been avoided. KlimaDAO uses the Polygon blockchain. As a DAO, KlimaDAO operates in a transparent and community-driven manner. The Klima tokenomics are designed to encourage long-term holding and staking, aligning incentives towards sustained environmental impact. The platform supports a range of carbon offset projects, diversifying the impact and reach of its initiatives. From the advantages, I can mention the large selection of projects to support. This is the official website of KlimaDAO project. So klimadao.finance. Also white and green sort of design, explaining again the mission, of course. There is more than 20 million tons of digital carbon credits available through this project. It's also explaining what this amount of carbon credit would be able to cover in terms of environmental impact. And it's also explaining who are the participants, more than 100,000 participants of the project. And there are 5 different building blocks of the KlimaDAO. Interestingly, that also the Polygon network is supporting the KlimaDAO project. So this is the website itself. Now, if we want to buy the KlimaDAO tokens, we go to this CarbonMark. My version is immediately in German because I'm located in a German-speaking place, but I change it to English. So this is the marketplace, meaning where we can buy and sell the carbon credits of the KlimaDAO. It is explaining all the steps that are necessary to take in order to do this. And if we click on Browse Projects, we can see the different projects that we are able to support. You can choose filters and then filter by country, for instance, choose projects from a specific country of your choice, or also sort by the category, because it's not only forestry like in the previous example, but also renewable energy and so on, and also the year, so the vintage, the year of the project. Okay. Now you have seen the selection. I will not be selecting a specific project based on the criteria, but we'll select a random one. So here we have a description of the project. It is also related to REDD, so explaining as in the introduction, what does it mean? What are the international standards that it refers to? And we see that the minimum price is $1.08 as a price per ton. Then it is explaining what will you receive when you purchase it, and also having a link to the Polygon scan to have a bit more information about the smart contract that's governing this. So in order to buy and pay in crypto, we need to connect the wallet. I am connecting in my MetaMask. It is telling me that I have to switch to Polygon because the CarbonMark apparently only supports Polygon mainnet. Okay, let me switch. And now I can pay with USDC. I select just, let's say, 1. And then if I click on retire, I will have more information about the tokens that I have purchased. I have not purchased yet because on Polygon I didn't have sufficient balance, but if I had, that would be already enough. So profile, portfolio. Then other parts are the building blocks, are for instance the govern and engage part. As it stands in the name, it is a decentralized autonomous organization, which also means that there is a possibility to have a say in the proposals of the project. Once you become a token holder, you also receive the voting rights. Here is the forum through which the governing process is held. So for instance, you can submit your own proposals or comment and review the proposals that are already proposed by somebody else. The next one on the list is Nori. Unlike many carbon credit systems that focus on emissions reduction or avoidances, Nori concentrates on carbon removal. This involves supporting projects that actively remove CO2 from the atmosphere, such as through regenerative farming practices. Nori means it's carbon removals on the Ethereum blockchain as a non-fungible token. Each Nori carbon removal ton represents 1 ton of CO2 removed from the atmosphere and is guaranteed for a minimum of 10 years. Nori initially used the Ethereum blockchain for its operations, but planned to transition to Polygon. By participating in Nori's marketplace, farmers who adopt regenerative farming practices receive financial incentives for the carbon they sequester in the soil. Nori ensures the transparency of its carbon credits and prevents double counting issues by immediately retiring NRT's tokens once they are purchased. But note that the carbon removal is happening in the US. Notably, even when offsetting the carbon, user is getting a certificate, not a Nori token. This is the official website of the Nori project, nori.com, and this would also be the landing page. This showing the mission that this project has, of course, in line with the general carbon removal. It's providing some guidance on how to do this and what does it mean. So basically here it is. Now let's click remove carbon and regenerate the earth. Here, for instance, we have the opportunity to select how many regenerative tons we want and have a look at the project that would be supported. What is its location, how many were already sold, how many tons were issued, also the methodology. So all the particular information, including the view from the map from the fields. Also possible to view the reports. So here is more information from the report itself. When was the verification conducted? What were the attestations? Which particular piece of land? The summary as well. So, also it is supported in the media, as we can see from their testimonies on the website. And it's also having the opportunity to show the certificate of the carbon removal. So you don't only purchase a token, you also receive a sort of certificate, a digital certificate that is, of course, connected to a particular project. Here is a bit more data, a bit more statistics, also explaining why it is so important, the removal of CO2 emissions, and there is also a possibility to create a monthly subscription that would cost $25, and that would be equivalent to purchasing the regenerative tokens on a monthly basis. The last one on the list is TreeCoin. TreeCoin is a project in ESG and carbon credit space that leverages the blockchain technology to facilitate sustainable reforestation and carbon drawdown. The project operates by creating a direct link between the reforestation efforts and carbon credits, with a focus on mangrove restoration. The core mechanism of TreeCoin involves the generation of TreeCoin tokens, each equivalent to 1 ton of CO2 equivalent. These tokens are generated by forestry companies, landowners, and governments based on verified carbon drawdown data. The process ensures transparency and verifiability with each tree coin backed by data, showing where the carbon was captured. This data is validated using AI-driven carbon auditing technology. TreeCoin's approach to carbon credits is unique in that it monetizes the carbon storage work of trees. By purchasing tree coins, individuals and organizations enable trees to monetize their carbon sequestration work, which helps fund land care projects. This creates an incentive for both tree owners and emitters to work together in reducing net emissions. One of the notable aspects of TreeCoin is its impact on local communities, particularly in the context of mangrove restoration project in Myanmar's Tor Hedmark Climate Park. The project not only contributes to carbon drawdown, but also provides employment opportunities and infrastructural development in the local area. TreeCoin is built on the Polygon blockchain, chosen for scalability and carbon-neutral technology. This choice ensures also the complete transparency and accountability, and also cheaper operations. As for the evaluation of TreeCoin, each token represents 1 ton of CO2 drawdown and has a market utility value similar to other carbon-based tokens. The price is determined by market demand, averaging between $5 and $50. TreeCoin is developing its own carbon blockchain standard, building upon existing carbon market standards, but incorporating blockchain technology to enhance transparency, auditability, and trust in carbon market. While TreeCoin is not a verified carbon credit or carbon offset in the traditional sense, it functions similarly in the voluntary carbon market, reducing barriers to entry and leveraging blockchain transparency. It is Australia-based and of course focused on the trees, and it's even possible to start your own tree project. This is the official website of TreeCoin, treecoin.global, the landing page, which is explaining what does it do. So it is aimed at the tree specifically. It is suitable for both individuals and the companies. And the solution is transparent, verifiable, and valuable. It is explaining also that one tree coin is equivalent to 1 ton of CO2 emissions. It is Australia-based. And it's also explaining how it is connecting the growers with the token buyers in 4 different steps, including the data integrity and the exchange, as well as lockup of carbon. It is explaining how to participate, how to stay updated with the project, and also provides different links to other social media. Let's create an account. To create an account, we will need to provide the name, email address, the country of residence, and create a password. Okay. The email address is also needed here in order to have the verification step. So there is a code coming to my email address when I am creating an account. That's why I confirm my email. And I receive a code that is sent to my email address. I'm copying and pasting that. Okay. It's valid for 15 minutes, but we of course will need much less time. Now it is offering me to connect my wallet. It actually recognizes that the wallet is installed already. So I click continue, connecting to Polygon because the TreeCoin is operating on Polygon, and now I link the wallet. There is a pop-up window in the MetaMask where I approve the request and then click continue. Okay, now we have the dashboard ready. It is showing total assets that are now 0 at this moment. I can also create my own project, which I would want to get supported. I need to provide different data to support the data integrity. So project name, the size, and the tree species that I want to grow. My wallet is here as well. So the statistics of how many TreeCoin tokens I have purchased. I can also send them and receive them. So not only buy, but also send. To receive tokens, I would scan this QR code that is generated immediately. Then if I click on the account, I can see some more data, connect other wallets, as opposed to the one that I have already connected. And if you want to buy the carbon credits, you can also send an inquiry, maybe if you are wanting to purchase it as a company. Otherwise, there's also the opportunity of start earning, and that is what we have done already now. The one app that is notable to mention is Single Earth. It is also a project in carbon credit space that employs blockchain technology. The core of Single Earth's model revolves around merit tokens, which are a new kind of asset backed by the ecosystem services provided by natural resources, particularly forests. And here is how it works. Single Earth has created a digital twin of the world's nature using satellite data analysis, and machine learning. The digital representation helps in quantifying the ecosystem services provided by natural resources such as carbon sequestrator and biodiversity. For every 100 kilos of CO2 sequestered in a biodiverse forest, Single Earth issues one merit token to the landowner. This system provides a real-time incentive for landowners to preserve their forests and other natural resources. Unfortunately, purchasing merit token is not yet available in Switzerland, but it is available in the European Union. So this is the official website of the Single Earth project, single.earth. It has this beautiful purple color palette and is explaining the mission behind, of course, and also the data-driven. It is explaining the value of tokenizing the nature, so also providing the scientific approach, explaining its special methodologies, because it goes beyond the carbon credits only. You can also get in touch with the project organization and see how they answer your questions if you have any. Then the methodology is described separately, and there is a special merit token. So the merit is, as I said, not only the CO2 emissions captured, but also the biodiversity and the general state of the nature around. I guess that this type of approach could be more complicated than just the carbon credits, but it could also provide a more rounded approach to the question of protecting the environment. If you go to the Impact tab, you will see what are the different projects and different missions that the project would support, that the Single Earth is supporting. It's also providing business solutions for landowners, and the possibility to buy the merit tokens. So this is what we individuals would be most interested in as it comes to the Single Earth project. So it is explaining how it's working through creating the digital twin, and is also providing the link to the marketplace where it's exactly possible to do. But of course, for first thing to do is to get verified. So signing up to the marketplace. Here we would need to provide some of the personal data, so the name, country of residency, as well as the email address and the password. This is, of course, not taking a long time, but still taking a bit of a minute. Right now, Switzerland is not supported, but I know that a lot of other countries, especially in Europe, are supported. So you're welcome to try this one out by your own.